By now, everyone knows. It's huge news. If this doesn't make Airtime Thrills events that change the theme park industry for 2023, then a lot's gonna happen in the next few months. I'm talking about the merger between Six Flags and Cedar Fair. And from a business standpoint, this makes perfect sense as a valid move to help both companies get out of debt. And I don't even think that any serious issues will arise from like a monopoly or anything. No, what I'm talking about is a little bit deeper. So come with me down a rabbit hole for the next 6 minutes or so, and I'll try to explain what it is I'm talking about. Is this merger really a good thing? And what effect will it have on your home park? This skepticism started before we even knew the merger was happening. I wrote a script for a park battle video comparing California's Great America and Lagoon a couple months ago. It'll probably be the next video I make. I'm not going to tell you who wins, but I will say that it's close, even though the two parks are super different. As I was thinking about this, I wondered, how does being owned by a chain like Cedar Fair affect how a park operates? Let me explain my train of thought here. Lagoon is owned by a family, the Freed family, and they don't own any other parks, just Lagoon. Lagoon has 11 coasters, and 6 of them have been added in the last 20 years. Lagoon is full of unique rides, and I think almost every one of them is enjoyable. You notice the effort they've put into making their investments count every time you ride a ride. They even spent time and money to engineer a family coaster that everyone could and would enjoy, and I think it paid off amazingly. You can see that they care about the guest experience and are willing to put in the effort to make sure we enjoy all their rides. These days, they're even going as far as manufacturing their own coasters to achieve this. Where Lagoon does lack is theming. Sure, the park has a fun atmosphere full of trees, and they do have Pioneer Village, but they also mostly have just plopped down rides with a fun or scary name and no real theming to support the name. They also don't really have any themed areas. Primordial kind of addressed this issue with a storyline and a decent theme, but that's because the ride style demands it. On the other hand, California's Great America has had a far more interesting history of additions, but specifically I want to talk about when Cedar Fair has been in charge. As a middle tier Cedar Fair park, they've only invested 2 rides into this park in the last 10 years, which is decent, and both of them are solid rides that rank in my top 10. They also did have plans to invest heavily into the park to improve it, but that was all before COVID, and now they're just selling it for commercial land. The park as a whole hits the theming ball a little better than Lagoon, and they definitely push the American theme to tie the whole park together, which I appreciate. Still, the additions to the park feel impersonal. They already had a wooden coaster when they added Gold Striker, although a modern Woody is a nice touch, and I'm definitely not complaining. But with the solid air time that Gold Striker provides, an RMC Raptor isn't the coaster I would have given this park, even though it's a great ride too. No, Great America really needs a launch coaster. They needed it even more than they needed Gold Striker back in 2013. But they're never going to get it. Why? Because Cedar Fair is selling the park for the good of the chain. They're still making money from their guests, but that money is not going back into the park anymore. That right there is the difference between Lagoon and Great America, or any other chain park for that matter. Yes, tickets to Lagoon are expensive, but as a local to the park, I'm okay with that, because I know that my ticket money will go right back to Lagoon and whatever their next project will be. While the money I spent to get into Great America in July might as well have been going toward funding Iron Menace at Dorney Park, a ride I will likely never ride in the next 10 years at least. And the problem isn't so much that my money is going there. The problem is the mindset that the people in charge likely have. If I was gonna bet, I'd say that the higher ups at Cedar Fair likely spend a lot of time each year deciding where they're going to send money for new investments. They probably try to compare the needs of most of their parks, see how long it's been since they've given a coaster to Carowinds or Canada's Wonderland, completely forget that Six Flags does not own Michigan's Adventure, and in fact, they do, and then ultimately give Kings Island a fake Giga or a totally new and improved Vekoma Boomerang, even though they already have a Vekoma Boomerang. Meanwhile, over at Lagoon HQ, all they're debating about is exactly what holes the park has and what they need to fill. Maybe they'll realize that they don't have any airtime in the park. I don't know. They wonder not where they should invest their money, but what they should invest it in. And that gives them time to figure out what Lagoon really needs, so they aren't stuck with the Vekoma Boomerang, when what they really need is a multi-looper, preferably a launched one. I'm talking about Kings Island, by the way. And now, this problem can't possibly get any better with Six Flags merging with Cedar Fair. I'd imagine they'll still keep playing favorites, and if Valley Fair ever gets a new coaster, I'll be shocked right out of my pants. They probably will actually get one in 2026 because it's their 50th anniversary, but just because you get one on your birthday does not mean you should expect more. Likely, with a whopping 27 parks to manage, deciding where to send money will be even harder. And I bet every single park in this huge chain will get less consistent additions than they did before, if they even got consistent additions before at all. But maybe it's all in my head. I'm really interested to see where this merger thing will lead, because it could turn out to be a good thing, or it could be really bad. Feel free to tell me I'm wrong in the comments, but I'm leaning toward it being bad. I mean, I hope that's not where it goes, but that's kind of where I see it going. Anyway, thanks for watching, and now go have a coaster adventure.